Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. Rich Klein and I are going to talk about combo cards. We're going to look at it from a then and now perspective. We both have childhood memories of those, and we have adult memories of those. We're going to bat that around, but thanks sponsors, certainly the card companies, Topps. We'll mention Topps today, but Panini, Upper Deck as well, Heritage Auctions, Huggins & Scott Auctions, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Burbank Sports Cards, ComC.com, and Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. So combo cards or combination cards. Combo cards, when I'm defining it, primarily means when you've got more than one player on the card. The rookie combo cards, the floating heads kinds of cards, I guess those are in that genre too, but we're more talking about just veterans or younger players and maybe a posed photo with the two. Is that the way you take it, Rich?
Funny, as you were doing the intro, I started thinking, most people think the combo cards began for the most part in 53 Bowman. But if you really think about it, there's 1911 Mecha double folders where you have a combo card of two people.
But you can't see them both at the same time.
But you can't see them both at the same time, a.k.a. 55 Topps doubleheader.
Well, T202s.
Or T202s.
Yeah, triple folders.
Triple folds. So there really are combo cards going, and there are 1930s Gaudies. There's some photos, not in the main sets, but in some of the premium sets of players together.
Batter-ups.
Batter-ups.
There's some high number teammates, I think. One guy's on somebody else's shoulders. I don't remember. Anyway, so it's been a novelty, and it didn't wreak havoc with us, but it was difficult to price those cards because they're exceptions.
Right. And
we had to track them. If it's a superstar and a bum, is it a superstar price? Maybe not quite, but it's certainly not a bum price of somebody that didn't pan out.
When you talk about that, one of the best examples of what you do is the 59 Clemente triple card. That's a high number card.
Corsair Trio.
Corsair Trio. Was it Bill Verdon, Clemente, and Bob Skinner?
Yeah.
You know, you got Clemente on that card. And not only is he your all-time favorite player, but he's in the Pantheon. He's a first-tier Hall of Famer. High number.
Yeah.
So it's a superstar plus. But is it as good as a card as Mays McCovey in 67, which isn't really a high number, but you've got 1,400 players on the card? And then there's always the famed, it's not really a combo card, but you have the 56 Aaron with the background photo of Willie Mays sliding. Right. That's not really a combo card, but that's two Hall of Famers.
Two amazing guys, yeah.
But even though I digress, really the first combo cards that most of us consider in the modern era are the 53 Bowmans. The Mantle, the 53 Bowman color.
I agree and disagree because you're right, but the combo cards that have a descriptor, that have a title of Dodger Sluggers.
Yes.
Or Yankee Sluggers?
Dodger Power, it's Yankee Power Hitters, Dodger Sluggers, or vice versa.
Yeah. Anyway, those are labeled as such.
Yes.
And I think in my neighborhood, those were really considered pretty, because they were more so, and 53 Bowman was a few years before that. Those were interesting, and those were great photos, and they were posed photos, and they made sense, but they weren't titled. It was just Martin
Rizzuto. It wasn't Yankee. Here's the other thing that makes these so interesting. 69 is the last year for a long time of combo cards. They go away. There's some exception for leader cards really aren't combo cards. They're really only existent from 57 to 69. They're existent again today in the flagship set.
Right.
There's lots of those cards. They're cool. It's almost like they're bringing back the coolness of the combo cards.
In the heritage sets, aren't they bringing back? It's like the same number.
Yes.
They're doing a pretty direct correspondence to really appeal to people that collected the reminiscent, the heritage set that looks like 58s. It's got the 58 combo cards, the same numbers.
Well, I've talked to Clay Larasky about that. And Clay you can't do it for every card, but he's very cognizant. And they make sure there's a lot of, we'll call it unconscious or subconscious references to the original set, like 62 Topps. Jorge Posada was in the heritage, which is 10 years ago, so it's 2011, was 360. 62 Topps, 360 is Yogi Berra.
Right.
Gee, let's see, Yogi catcher, Yankee catcher, Yankee catcher. So there's a lot of that they do. Some of it they don't do, but some of it they do catch.
I think Topps did a good job on that over the years, that there weren't that many mess-ups to where they put together things that weren't cohesive, that didn't go together, that starting with 57 Topps, 58, 59. I just think Mantle and Mays together, and Mays and Aaron, is that 64?
That's 64.
Those cards may be undervalued.
I think they are.
In the current structure of when we priced cards, we weren't setting the price as what they were selling for, but there was a little bit of a discount for a combo card, when in reality, there might be some other pricing theory. It wouldn't stand up if people didn't pay it. But it's the sum of the
I don't know if it's the sum of the two, but it's definitely when you have a really good combo, like the 62 Manager's Dream card, and you have other people in the background too that are good, that you have cards like that, it's okay, that could actually maybe not be more
a
than
premium, but a premium over maybe even.
Yes.
And again, we can talk about pricing philosophy. When we were doing price guides, we could philosophize, but the prices, the cards went for what they went for. And the latitude I have, when I'm selling my cards, I can put any price I want on them. When you and I are doing price guide, it's got to be what people are selling the cards for.
Well, what's interesting too is when you sell those cards, it's really more either player or set oriented. You can't always use the team orientation because a lot of times you have two different
teams.
If you have that, where do you put the card in? When you have, I think it's Bobby Shanson, Lou Burdett, do you make that a Yankee card or do you make that a Milwaukee Brave? If you have them from the same team and you have, Mantle and Maris, they're not on a card together, but if you had Mantle and Maris on a 62 card, you could make that a Yankee card, you can make that a Mantle card, you can make that a set card. You have more places to sell that card too.
Nowadays, there are not just the Heritage and the top sets, there are multiplayer patch cards in every sport. And if we get to the rookie cards, same thing. There's more than one rookie, and they're not always on the same team.
And Panini does have some multiplayer cards in their Donruss sets specifically, and I'm sure some of their others too. So Panini does have multiplayer cards. I don't think Upper Deck has as many multiplayer cards in their base sets. But they do, as you said, there's a lot of combo cards with autographs and jerseys, and all the card companies do that to some extent. And usually those cards have some premium because they're usually printed to a very short number.
And like
booklet cards, yes.
And those are generally short printed, but that's not really exactly what we're talking about.
No, it's not.
I guess if you had a booklet card, it'd be pretty obvious. With all that real estate, you probably could show more than one player.
Here's some interesting things, like some of the most popular cards in '93 are when they put, and they're very small photos, but all the players on those winner cards, those gold winner cards, the black golds.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, those cards sell for more than you would think they would sell.
Do not tell people that, Rich.
Okay.
You're giving away a secret.
Yes. Believe me, I've been burned too.
No, when I see those, I pick them out. Again, this is so horrible. All of our secrets are going to be out. Actually, by the time I get to 1,000 episodes, there'll be no more secrets, I think. But if I'm looking through a dollar box and I see one of those multiplayer things and it's got, and there's somebody great on there. And so what you have, if there's 11 guys on there, on a lot of them there is, the ABCD, you have 11 chances to get somebody's player collection that they're looking for, or team collector. And so there could be a lot of demand for that one card. It's not that it's that tough. It's just that the demand is probably higher than the supply at this point.
But when you talk about secrets, you realize in 1990 when you hired Grant, you hired Mike Hirsch, you hired me, we all knew things about the cards. You knew a lot. You'll say, I don't remember everything. Right. And we all brought our stuff down. And all of a sudden, a lot of things that were, let's say, quote, secretive before started getting into the price guides about the scarcity of certain cards in certain series and the prices going up.
And that was a natural flow and was a good thing. And because, like I said, the secret is not that something is worth more. The secret is why it's worth more. Because unless you do that, it seems like an anomaly. But then when you unpack it and put it together, and like you said, with Grant and Mike and you and other outstanding guys we had there who really studied the cards and really had a lot of experience on their own. And it was just fed into the collaborative process. Those were the good old days, Rich.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, think about all the secrets I knew that I brought with me about the knowing which 67 Mets and Yankees and the high numbers were $20 and you had them at $7.
You brought your New Jersey secrets.
I brought my New Jersey secrets. But as you said, it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing at all.
So it's not a bad thing to talk about what you knew.
And most of that stuff is out, published and all that stuff. But the problem is that we can see, and we did our dollar box episode, is that it's just hard for somebody to know all those things. I know a lot of them, but I don't know everything. That's why when you go through a dollar box and then I go right behind you, I'm still finding stuff and vice versa. And it might be that we're looking for slightly different things, but we're also seeing things differently.
Well, I went through a box that had your initials. It didn't have mine, of Ron and Rhett Palmer's.
Yeah.
And as I said, it was a small, unannounced one-day show, and you had a previous commitment, and you tried to perform more than 1 day notice or 6-hour notice. Yeah. And I picked out 250 cards from that box.
That I'd already looked.
That you'd already looked at.
That hurts. Okay, but it gets worse, Rich, because I also, the time before at the show, went through Ron and Rhett's box a second time. My initials were on there.
Yeah.
They assured me they had not added anything.
How many cards did you find?
And I still pulled out 100 cards the second time through, which is just amazing. If you're looking at a monster box, if you take 1 second per card, you'll be still on the first box when the show is over.
If it makes you feel better, I picked exactly 5 cards out of the second box that had your initials on it.
Okay, maybe something was put in. Anyway, one of the fun things in the hobby is there's plenty of cards for everybody.
But combo cards are really cool, and they're cool today.
I think they're especially cool.
Yes.
Because there's just so many different poses of your favorite player when you get that distinction of being with somebody else. Again, I think there really needs to be reason for why they're together, and it ought to evoke a story or some connection.
There's a Project 2020 card where they did the players, but there's one where the artist put Bryce Harper, like giving Mike Trout a haircut. So I included that, in the ComC database, just in case somebody doesn't care about Trout but likes Harper. Look at that. That's Bryce Harper.
Well, we're not saying that combo cards are where somebody's in the background. I think Panini and Upper Deck just settled their lawsuit.
They settled the lawsuit
about a background.
This was pretty obvious. He's like giving Trout a haircut.
But again, I really want to thank you for doing that. If you're doing that in the ComC database, I hope that the Beckett database is capturing that too, and any other database out there, because that's helpful. I want to know if it's an in-action photo of a first baseman, if he's holding a runner on, and that runner is somebody famous, I'd like to know.
That's the 83 Topps Reggie Smith card with Ryan Sandberg in a rookie card year coming back into first base. That's a good card. Dave Slipka, our fellow teammate at Beckett, sent me a note about a 92 score soccer card that has some famous player in his rookie card year guarding somebody. Okay, we'll put that in. Yeah. And I appreciate that, because I just looked at it's not only good for knowledge, but it's frankly good for sales too.
It's a secret until it's not a secret. It's like a Menendez brothers. It wasn't a secret. People say, "What's up?" Then all of a sudden, the cat's out of the bag, and the price goes back down again.
I only call them famous people in the background on ComC. I don't use the Melendez brothers. I don't want somebody.
Then I didn't misspeak, but it's a matter of public record now, and it's just curious whether that was an intentional accident or not. In fact, that's when the combo cards are intended to be interesting.
And they are. Yeah. And look where we went to on this conversation.
I hope combo cards keep going, and
I think the future,
keep adding to them. And
as you used to say, the future looks bright for combo cards.
80-81 basketball.
Now that's not really a combo card.
It's not a combo, but it's problematic.
It's problematic. So, that's a bad example of a combo card.
Yeah, which is not really a combo card, but it's just problematic.
Unless it's Bird, Johnson, Irving.
Exactly. Bird, yes. Give me some more of those.
Yes.
Yeah, I think those are sold out.
Yes.
Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Rich. Combo cards. We like combo cards. And if there's an increased demand on those, not necessarily because of this episode, but in the future, I think they're great cards. I think great cards. Historical and relevant. So, thanks, Rich. Thanks, everybody. Be back tomorrow.